second game of our doubleheader matches the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets against the homestanding Tigers, who are a bit desperate coming into this Wednesday night game, looking for that first ACC win. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our coverage. Bob Rathman, Debbie Antonelli. Great to have you with us. A Georgia Tech team that comes up from Atlanta, Debbie, on a roll. They've won 4 of their last 5.
What a big win over Syracuse. Really put them on the map. They play a terrific matchup zone that can give teams trouble. Clemson's got to have early offensive success at home.
And speaking of Syracuse, Jose Alvarado was outstanding. An unexpected win in the Carrier Dome.
Hey, this guy right here can score. He makes plays. He makes a lot of great decisions in transition. But he also is a really good tempo guard. He can play the 1 or the 2. He has the ability to score at all 3 levels. He really makes Georgia Tech run.
This Clemson team is coming off a tough loss here on this floor to Virginia over the weekend. Now they deal with Georgia Tech. But the one constant theme is their lack of perimeter shooting. They've got to get their guards going tonight.
Yeah, their guards have got to play well. You're talking about the veteran backcourt with big game experience. Marquise Reed and Shelton Mitchell have just got to make better decisions with the basketball. Their shot selection needs to be better. Their ball handling decisions need to be better. And they need to manage the tempo for Brad Brownell's team at home.
One of the oldest rivalries in the Atlantic Coast Conference. The 133rd chapter of Georgia Tech and Clemson. From Littlejohn, lineups at opening tip right after this. Their way inside Littlejohn for the Georgia Tech game tonight. The Jackets and Clemson. Let's take a look at our starting lineups tonight and a change for Tech. Abdullah Gay is unable to go, so Evan Pohl moves into that lineup with James Banks celebrating his 21st birthday today. Curtis Haywood, Jose Alvarado, and Michael DeVoe. Tigers counter with Marquise Reed, Shelton Mitchell, Elijah Thomas, David Scarr, and Amir Sims. Let's take a look at our 4 keys to the game. Miss Antonelli.
Well, here you go, Bob. For Georgia Tech, they have a terrific assisted basket ratio on the season at 61. They were above that in their Syracuse win at 64%. It's a fundamental way that they play offensively to move the ball, make 1 more. And for Clemson, they've got to finish inside at the rim. They were 5 for 14 against Virginia inside the restricted area. They've got to be able to complete plays in there. I'm not just talking about dunking. I'm talking about the and ones and being able to be a little bit more physical at the rim.
Josh Pastner's in his 3rd season as the Georgia Tech head coach and trying to find a way to win in Littlejohn. Did you know the Tigers have beaten Georgia Tech 13 straight as the home team, 12 in a row in this building? Brad Brownell would like to recapture some of that magic. His ball club is 0-3, first time since Brad took over the helm of the Tigers 9 seasons ago. They opened 0-3 in the conference season. Mike Eads, Jeffrey Anderson, and James Breeding to officiate tonight. Mr. Eads makes his way to the middle. The big men, this should be a good matchup to watch, too. These 2 big guys ready to go at it. Georgia Tech and Clemson underway. And you know Tiger fans are hoping for some outside success early. Get some confidence in the offense.
And Georgia Tech will start out in their man-to-man, but on made baskets, they love to play that matchup, and they are excellent on the defensive end.
There's Marquise Reed knocking down that first jump shot. Had only 5 against Virginia here on 1 of 6 shooting last Saturday.
One of the top scoring guards in the ACC. Important for him to get off to a good start.
Cole on the wing. Post feed, give and go. Cole off the glass. And the rebound controlled by Elijah Thomas. On the drive, no basket. The foul came before the shooting motion.
Bob, you're right about that matchup right there. Elijah Thomas is a big guy with a high motor. Look how quickly he goes off the bounce to try to put Banks at a deficit. And it's important to get Banks in foul trouble if you're Clemson. The depth is a little bit less without Gay.
First one comes on Banks, less than a minute in. Ball movement to Mitchell. Cross court. Here is Reed going to work. Little floater. 4-0.
Back-to-back buckets for Reed. You know, you're playing at home. You're a veteran guard. You've lost 3 tough games in the ACC. It's on you to get it going.
Alvarado on the handoff. Haywood Skips it to DeVoe on the wing. Shot clock at 7. Tech has struggled somewhat in end-of-clock situations offensively. Cole at 2. One doesn't get it off.
Really good job inside 10 on the shot clock. Clemson switching in their man-to-man to keep pressure on Georgia Tech.
Moses Wright is going to come in. Cole gets the early hook. 11:26 to go in the half.
Couldn't be a better start for Clemson, Bob. You hit back-to-back buckets by your leading scorer. You get 2 great stops on the defensive end, 1 contested shot, and 1 30-second shot clock violation. And here's that matchup. They're active, they communicate, they're long.
Nice sweeping hook inside. Thomas has his first 2, and it's 6-0.
Does such a good job of keeping the shoulders between the defender and the ball.
Here's DeVoe. The lefty fires, misses. Thomas the board. Averaging 7.5 rebounds a game. Reed the up fake, drive, pull up, top of the key, and Clemson is rolling. 8-0 start. 6 of the points by Marquise Reed.
Surprised Josh Pastner didn't consider a timeout. Usually a team goes on an 8-0 run. He's got a lot of confidence in his backcourt, and this guy right here, Alvarado.
Switched against the big, goes to DeVoe on the wing. Again, short clock, and Reed knocks it out of bounds.
Yep.
Well, Bond is going to come in. Let's take a look at our Hardy's start of watch, and we have enjoyed Elijah Thomas so much this season for Clemson, shooting 65%. He's tough around that rim.
He's a pick and roll guy. He's not going to pop.
Haywood off an air ball and another shot clock violation.
How good has that Clemson defense been to start the game? High hands on a closeout, switching inside 10 on the shot clock.
And you would figure, Debbie, that you'd see some desperation in the Tigers.
Absolutely.
0-3 coming into the conference.
I mean, look who they've had to play, Bob. I mean, that's a tough start. At Duke, at Syracuse, Virginia here at home.
3 from the corner. Sims missing. Down to get the basketball on the baseline is Thomas. And a held ball. The arrow gives it to Georgia Tech. And you mentioned the opponents for Clemson. In Duke, Syracuse, and Virginia, 3 very different defensive styles to face.
Duke, pressure, man-to-man, really good closeouts, up in your face. Syracuse, that 2-3 zone, you know, a lot different. And then you got the pack line for Virginia. I think Georgia Tech's defense is really good in that matchup zone, but you got to score to be able to play it. That's the way Josh Pastner typically runs his D.
And the Jackets throw this one away. 3rd turnover for Georgia Tech. Cole comes back, and it's going to be Michael DeVoe to exit. And for Clemson, David White is going to come into the game.
And you see Alvarado at the top of the defense right here, looking back at his guys going, let's go. Let's get going. Off a dead ball turnover, they can get into that matchup.
Scar's 3, bangs it home, 11-0.
Does not look like the Georgia Tech team that upset Syracuse on the road, does it?
A new day in the ACC, and you can forget what happened 3 days ago. Trying to go back door. Tigers' last touch. Moore in, and Haywood out. Josh Pastner has a deep bench and likes to rotate a lot of players through, but I think right now, Debbie, he's just trying to find a combination that's clicking.
I think it's an energy and effort thing right now, because when they go by him, he just points to the bench. Sit down. He's looking for 5 guys that are ready to play together.
Seven on the shot clock. Banks, handoff in tight quarters. An air ball. And this is going to be a hell ball. I believe. At least that was the signal from Mike Eads. Maybe a shot clock violation. It comes at a timeout. Juncture 15:48 first half. Clemson up 11-0. Back in Clemson, it's now time to take a look at our startup, brought to you by Honda Dealers of the Carolinas. We talked about this series. It dates back to the 1912-13 season. The Tigers have won 3 straight overall, but we talked earlier how Georgia Tech has struggled mightily in Littlejohn. They have not won in this building since 2005, and you spot the home team 11 points right out of the gate.
I mean, 3 shot attempts for Georgia Tech, 3 turnovers. And Clemson on the other side, 5 for 6 from the floor. They've got 11 points. They've had most of their scoring coming from Marquise Reed, who's got 6 to lead the Tigers right now.
That shot by Cole as we went to break did graze the rim, so no shot clock violation. The held ball gives the ball to Clemson on the arrow. Georgia Tech trying to pick up the tempo defensively, and Alvarado called for the reach-in. First on Jose.
It's early. There's plenty of time. You know, Georgia Tech doesn't really like to extend their defense too much. They're very good in their quarter court. They've got to lock down right here.
Scar to trigger. Reed comes off the screen. Mitchell works off the high pick and roll. Now from the corner, a 3-ball, and Marquise Reed is back, ladies and gentlemen. He's got 9, and it's 14-0. This is a score the football team would be proud of. 2 touchdowns early. Thomas picks up the foul, his first.
Watch right here, a terrific job of finding Marquise Reed. Spotted up in the corner, a little catch and shoot. Triple.
.23 on the Georgia Tech shot clock. Long entry to right. Banks hasn't been much of a factor here in the first 5 minutes. Alvarado into Banks for the jam. They dialed number 1 that time, and he delivered with a dunk, and Georgia Tech's on the board.
Terrific rim roll right down the chute. Right down the middle of the floor.
Inside, White, baby hooks it home. First 2 for the Ames, Iowa grad student, 16-2.
White getting some early quality minutes for Brad Brownell. He's able to go a little deeper early with this early lead. And Banks needs to get down to the block where he can have an impact in that White matchup.
Here's DeVoe kicking it back. 7 on the shot clock. The jumper rebounded by Banks. Going back up. Rebound Tigers. And a foul. The big guys battling big time. And for Banks, that is going to be his 2nd foul. And that changes things for John Pastner.
And that's a problem. We know they don't have the depth without Gay available tonight. Suffered from some cramps in the Syracuse game. Is here with the team, did get some fluids today, but they're not able to use him in the game tonight. Now you go a little bit smaller, a little bit less experienced on that back row.
Long one for Mitchell. Rebound secured by Wright. Here come the Jackets. Moore to the high post. Cole looking. Tipped out of bounds by Scar. 14 on the shot clock. Here comes Claude Trapp coming in for the Tigers. And here's Sims exits.
Clemson's D has forced them deep into the shot clock on almost every possession, Bob.
And a steal on the wing. Marquise Reed uses the rim to protect himself against the defender, lays it home. He's got 11 and a Georgia Tech timeout. Tigers early.
What a terrific job. Up the line, overplaying. Marquise Reed is impacting the game on both ends. What a terrific job of finishing inside at the rim off his defense. I'll tell you what, Clemson has developed some really good habits inside their defensive concepts. Their schedule, it makes it look like with their 0-3 start that they're not as solid as they have appeared. It's misleading. I think this is a very good veteran, experienced, older group of Tigers for Brad Brownell this season.
And Marquise Reed, Debbie, setting the tone. He looks like an all-conference player in this first half.
He's the only player in the Power 5 that's averaging over 18 points, over 5 rebounds, better than 3.5 assists and 2 steals. It's very impressive, his start tonight, especially when his team knows that he needs to have a good game.
Banks in there with the two personals. Has it at the high post. 7 on the shot clock. Rebound. Pulled down by Trapp, and here come the Tigers. 7 minutes have elapsed in our first half, and the Tigers out of the blocks in fine fashion. Lead at 18-2. On the pass, and a beauty for the White Team.
You need to dial it up right now. They can get anything they want against Georgia Tech. And Alvarado, the leading scorer for Georgia Tech, has yet to even attempt a shot. Skara puts more size on him, affects his vision, doing a terrific job defending.
Haywood. Now looking as Moore trying to get into that paint. Challenge shot, gets the basket, and a foul on the Tigers.
What a great effort by the 6'6 freshman. Got a smaller defender on him. Smart. Goes to work off the bounce. Gets to the midline. Does a terrific job of staying physical. Good footwork high off the glass to get the N1 opportunity.
Moore misses the free throw. He's an 87% free throw shooter. 20-4. Skara hands it over to Mitchell. 12-minute mark in the first half. Reed feeling it. On a block. Beauty by DeVoe from behind. As White was denied.
Chance to score in transition. This hasn't happened much.
DeVoe goes in. And a blocking foul on Clemson.
Now, because Clemson's been so effective at scoring, they've been able to get back and set their D. Georgia Tech gets a transition opportunity. As you take White on the pick and roll, the way you draw it up, perfect.
In this half, and they lead the Jackets by 16.
I can sign 12 autographs in 6 seconds. So reminding you to check your battery this fast? Easy.
The man that Georgia Tech must get going, and quickly, is this one, Jose Alvarado.
Alvarado has 1 assist. He hasn't even attempted a field goal in the game. And part of the reason is because Clemson has been so efficient at scoring, they've been able to get back and set their D. And David Skara has done a fantastic job D'ing up Alvarado.
The lefty from Orlando, Michael DeVoe at the foul line. Averages 8.8 per game. Puts this one down to make it 20-6. Tramp to mid-floor, shot clock at 11. Sheldon Mitchell looking, spinning, bounce inside, denied, second shot, good. White's got his 3rd basket.
What a terrific first half for Javon White. Averages about 9 minutes a game. He's only scored 22 total points all season. He's having a big game.
Banks facing. Clemson's defense has been terrific. Got a nice look there for Haywood, but nothing doing. It remains 22-6. Scar on the wing. Nice cut. Better rejection. Banks all over that one. Long lead to the corner. Banks. Rebound Clemson. Turnover. Alvarado in the middle. Gives to DeVoe. Missed the lay-in.
Not many transition opportunities early. But you got to convert those, Bob. You got numbers on the break.
Reed, step back, connects again.
What a game. What a jumper. We've seen the three, we've seen a layup, and points off of his defense. Playing really good in the screening action.
Tech 2 for 11 with 4 turnovers. And a whistle on the drive. Curtis Haywood heads to the foul line. James Banks, of course, is got that rep as a terrific shot blocker, and you'll see why right here.
Well, this is why you can play up the line with your man-to-man defense. It's a great basket cut by Trapp, but he's met at the rim by James. Banks with that 7'5" wingspan. Incredible.
He had 5 blocks in the road win at Arkansas. I think that's what sort of got him going early in the season. And, the only sin he had at Texas was playing behind Jared Allen and Mo Bamba. There weren't a lot of minutes in the middle in Austin.
I'm sure in practice every day he learned a lot playing against those guys, and he's brought it here to Georgia Tech.
24-7. Haywood's second shot.
Curtis Haywood, the second, makes 12.
Reed and Alvarado. And to bring that screen out to the top of the three-point line. Scarra now out of the double. Mitchell with 10 on the shot clock. They reset the screen. Mitchell probing, looking, uses his dribble. 4-3 to shoot. Reed puts it up and gets fouled with 1 on the shot clock and 3 free throws to come. That is the second on Jose Alvarado.
With a late shot clock, that's exactly who Brad Brownell would want to have the ball.
Fourth team foul. Marquez Reed at the line to shoot 3.
You know, when David Scarra drove baseline and was able to draw 2.
Now they're going to check to see if it's a 3 or a 2.
You got to move the ball faster. That's why they got into a situation where they got late in the shot clock. Is it 3 free throws or 2?
It is 3, yes. And so Reed will go to that line. He had 14 against UVA Saturday, but shot just 3 of 14 from the field. Put his head down, would drive the ball to the basket to get something going offensively against that stifling pack line D. So Reed got 11 free throws and made 8 of them. This is his first attempt here tonight. He is some kind of hot. 14 first half points.
One shot.
It's a blend of everything, all 3 levels of play off his defense. Started out looking to score, seeking shots early.
And you know, as a shooter, Debbie, when you're not hitting the rim on these shots, it's your night.
It's a big night.
27-8.
Let's see if Alvarado can get something going now.
Takes the 3 and hits it.
The Scarra is not matched up with him, and it really allows him to see the rim. You know, Scarra with his size advantage took that vision away.
Alvarado averaging 14 points a game. 27-11. And DeVoe steps in for the steal on Mitchell. Boy, he had Mitchell all turned around. And a foul coming against Shelton.
And this is one you've got to finish. Make a great defensive play up the line. You're right at the front of the rim.
It's a hard way to play defense.
What a terrific job by DeVoe. He's spinning around like that, yes. Constantly backpedaling, right?
Third point for Michael DeVoe. Back in is Elijah Thomas.
You can just tell that Mike DeVoe is going to be a really good player in this league. He's got length. He's got a terrific handle. He's got range.
What a good sign at the foul line. 4 for 4. He's had his struggles there this year. Thomas, nothing doing inside. And Georgia Tech trying to scramble back. Alvarado.
Good transition by Clemson to get back.
Bonda giving it back. Now screens. Alvarado playing that pick and roll game as the driver this time. Loose ball to the corner. Clemson knocks it out of bounds. And with it, a timeout. 7:51 first half of Littlejohn. Clemson 27, Georgia Tech 13.
Hardee's. Try the new Angus Thick Burger Melts. Hardee's, because it tastes better. Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. And Z-Max Micro Lubricant, available at AutoZone.
With Debbie Antonelli and our crew, Bob Rathman back at Littlejohn. A first half into seeing Marquise Reed outscore Georgia Tech by himself, 16-13. Tigers lead at 27-13. And Georgia Tech still trying to get its offensive footing in this game. Open look for DeVoe. No. And the rebound to Reed. Reed off the screen. Secured by Alvarado. Tech working in transition. Alvarado right to the glass, and that's rejected by Elijah Thomas. He had a block here against Virginia on Saturday. Very imposing figure protecting that rim.
He gets off the contact and rotates over. Good vision by him to see. Thomas, it's hard for big guys who are running backwards or transitioning and try to get up in that matchup at the rim.
First Tiger block of the game. Banks has been playing most of the last few minutes here with 2 fouls, and that's going to be a travel as he lifted that pivot foot. The 5th Georgia Tech turnover.
In for the Yellow Jackets, number 24, Sylvester Obanda.
Sylvester Obanda coming back now, and Banks goes down to the bench. Georgia Tech 3 of 14 from the field. Clemson shooting 61%. Scar back in.
We haven't seen much of that matchup zone. It's been a lot of man for Josh Pastner's team.
Mitchell hooks the pass to the corner. The drive, not there for Newman. The fight is on. Thomas going up. Line of contact, but no whistle. A driving and the miss. The follow is up and in by Obanda. His first 2, the redshirt junior, makes it 27-15. Point you made, Debbie, a good one earlier. A lot of basketball to be played. Georgia Tech got a lot of time on their hands. Get back in this. Mitchell.
Thomas has that screen, and he holds the screen. He waits until Reed gets past him. And Josh Pastner wants an illegal screen. I think he just did a good job of holding it.
Turnover. You know, Thomas is so big. When he sets a screen, it's like a full eclipse.
You can definitely lose daylight on that thing.
He is a big fella, and boy, is he effective. How about that look?
Yeah, he moves so well. He's got good hands, good footwork. Understands his role. He's a pick and roll guy. He's not going to pop.
And Phillips going in, commits the foul. Now it's going to be his first.
That's his first. 15th foul.
Side out of bounds for Clemson. 29-15. Tigers on top. Clyde Trapp comes in for Shelton Mitchell. Clemson got off to a terrific start here. They led 11-0 and 20-4 and have held Georgia Tech at arm's length since then. Reed loops it over to Trapp. 10 on the shot clock. Reed. Scarra with 4. Dropped it. Rolls out. The ball belongs to Georgia Tech.
I thought they had a chance to get Thomas in a post-up in an ISO. Again, playing through the post would certainly help Clemson right here get back in rhythm.
Here's that matchup you talked about, Debbie, with Scarra on Alvarado. Now he gets DeVoe in a switch off the screen. No look to the corner. 3 ball on the way. Swift for Haywood.
What a great decision by Mike DeVoe. He set that up.
Clemson timeout. Brad Barnell sees his lead being sliced down a bit. It's at 11. Let's take a look at that last Georgia Tech sequence.
Watch DeVoe come right in here off the switch. He's got Scarra and goes right off another ball screen. And he looks down the middle, but he makes a terrific pass. Wide open. Everyone pinching on the roll. Phillips wide open for the 3.
Haywood terrific at Syracuse last weekend. He scored 15 and made his first start since the middle of December. The starting lineup for Georgia Tech and Josh Pass has sort of been in flux of late. But Haywood is a guy that can provide some instant offense.
He's known as a catch-and-shoot guy. You know, the last 3 games coming into this one, he was 6 for 9 outside the arc. And you notice when that pass was thrown to him, Bob, he didn't drop his hands below his waist. He dropped his hips to catch it. So that he still was able to get into rhythm. No shooter wants to drop their hands.
Scarra on the bounce. To Thomas up top. Here's Reed. Mitchell. And we've got a foul coming inside against Clemson. That's going to be the second on Thomas.
That's a tough ATO, but I definitely see what Brad Brownell's trying to do right there. He saw the same thing. Thomas is open in that matchup. They've got to look inside.
So Eli now with 2. 29-18. Alvarado missing.
He went under. That's a great look for Alvarado.
Mitchell, side saddle runner, tapped out to Reed. Sims. Mitchell finds Scarra in the corner. Got it.
Second triple for Scarra. Doing a terrific job on the defensive end. Made 3 shots tonight.
Here's Alvarado. See if he can keep the hot hand going. Drives in, plays through the contact and scores. 5 for Jose.
Really nice getting into the chest of Sims so that he can't block his shot. He can really turn a corner.
Mitchell. Skip pass finds Reed. And a hand check on the Jackets.
Foul number 2, Shamari Phillips. That's his second.
Timeout with 3:34 to go. First half. Alvarado pulls Georgia Tech within a dozen. Clemson 32, Georgia Tech 20 with 3:34 to go. before halftime. All season long, our ACC crews throughout ACC country have done their very best to bring these games to you. And they do get a little help from the Works Pegasus adjustable workbench. Look at Bob Schuster go to work on this thing. I mean, we've fixed monitors, microphones, cables, you name it. And we've got that Works Pegasus at our disposal each and every game. Works Pegasus makes your workspace in any place. Look for it at your local Lowe's. Drip by drip, Georgia Tech's getting back in this game. Sims launching, and the rebound to DeVoe.
After every media timeout, they've cut it one less possession. Got the lead from 16 down to 12.
So how many more timeouts do we have?
Yeah, we've got several. Enough to make it a tie game, so stick around.
James Banks, script. 8 on the shot clock.
Been really impressed with Clemson's defense. The way they've defended Alvarado with Scara. The way they've been able to score to set their D, taking Georgia Tech late into the shot clock on multiple possessions.
Haywood with the feet inside. Banks couldn't catch it. And the Tigers have it. Tough pass. In traffic, the 7th Yellow Jacket turnover. Last season in this building, Clemson prevailed 75-67. Up 12 here. Reed gets an and one.
What a great take. I mean, right down the middle of Georgia Tech's defense.
His third.
Watch how he gets Phillips on his hip and then keeps him there. Holds that contact to the rim. That's a great individual effort off the bounce.
Marquise Reed looking for his 19th first half point. What a performance. 35-20 Clemson. And in the post, a Clemson foul on Sims.
Displacement in the post. And Banks has a lot to deal with inside. Loves that one-on-one. Can score out of it, too. He's not necessarily going to pass out of it. He's looking to score. They're trying to push him off the block.
He'll get the second shot. 16 at Syracuse with 7 boards, 3 blocks, 3 steals in 37 minutes. First, Georgia Tech fans holding their breath about Banks earlier in the season when he was declared eligible in November. Such a godsend for this basketball team to have a talent like this join your program after the season started.
Well, he's really good on the back of the matchup zone, which is what they're in right now.
Mitchell to Reed. Gets in, floats it, missed it. Rebound, fought for, down on the deck to get it. And we've got a hell ball. As they peel the players off the pile. The ball will belong to Georgia Tech.
That's about the only shot that we have not seen Marquise Reed make tonight. A floater in the lane. Over the shot blocker Banks. That's it. He's done everything else.
35-22 Clemson. 2:13 before halftime. DeVoe looks. Haywood stepping back. Now Alvarado coming off the back screen, firing and hitting.
With a hand in his face.
35-25.
Boy, they need him to come alive.
His second 3 of the game. Tipped. Back to Reed. Inside. Going for the jam, but Banks rejects it. What a block. DeVoe on the bounce. Going up and in on the layup. And the Clemson lead is cut to 8.
What a terrific job by Josh Pastner and his team. Good patience and poise. And now they're back in this matchup, which is what they have a lot of confidence in playing on the defensive end.
A 7-0 Georgia Tech spurt here. Gets it into single digits. Driving through Mitchell out to Newman. He'll fire the 3 and miss. Rebound Alvarado. Gives to the middle. Clemson retreating defensively. Alvarado kicks to the corner. 3 ball from Haywood is good.
What a great job pushing in transition. Now they can play that matchup, Bob. This is where they start to take ownership of the tempo in the game.
Sims gets it out to Mitchell. Skara bounce inside. Sims has it taken away. 35-30 Clemson.
One shot here.
Shot clock is off. DeVoe at mid-floor with 16. Josh wants the ball in this man's hand.
The freshman Newman on the defensive assignment. I don't think you bring a screen right here. I think you let Alvarado go. Yes, no screen.
Lost it, got it back, and missed it at the buzzer. But Clemson with a tremendous lead early, only to see the Yellow Jackets catch fire late. And we got ourselves a ball game at halftime. Littlejohn Coliseum. For these ancient rivals, Georgia Tech and Clemson. What a half. Reed and the Tigers. And the Jackets go to the break separated by 5. ACC College Hoops from Tigertown, Clemson and Georgia Tech. It was odd, Debbie, in this regard for Georgia Tech. We talked about how they got back in the game. They shot 31% on 2s in the first half, 57% on 3s, and they're back in the ball game.
I think it's all about their transition game. You know, when they were able to get out and not have to go against that quarter-court Clemson defense, they were able to go on that late run to counter what Marquise Reed has been able to do with his first half 19 points.
But he was about the whole show there for Clemson. Skara hit a couple of 3s. White gave him some nice minutes, but silence elsewhere. But now they go to the big fella, and Elijah Thomas delivers. 37-30. Banks. Alvarado. Shot clock at 7. Alvarado spins, middle, has it rejected. Buzzer sounds, shot clock violation.
I'm telling you, David Skara is not going to show up in the stat sheet for much in terms of the defensive effort that he has done on Alvarado, but he has been fantastic. Alvarado is listed at 6 feet tall. Skara listed at 6'8", and he has had him in the matchup most of the night.
I think David picked him up when Alvarado got off the bus.
I think he did.
Reed. Tigers swinging around to Mitchell. Reed uses the screen. Re-screen. 8 to shoot. Mitchell. Now it's Sims. He's going to drive it. And drops it in.
Really good poise. Really good poise in that possession.
2 buckets in the paint to start the half for Clemson.
Great awareness of time and score.
Here's Haywood. Dealing to the corner, and DeVoe missed the 3. Skara off his fingertips.
Boy, Skara's really working tonight. He switches with high hands. He's got that switch to steal mentality. Chasing Alvarado off of all this screening action is tough for a 6'8" guy.
The entry pass to Cole, now to Haywood. Backdoor cutting Alvarado. That's the ball was just juggled, no violation. Alvarado with a step back, shoots an air ball, and this one's out to Clemson. And the serenade from the friendly students.
Alvarado's got to work
They're
so
friendly
hard.
students,
Oh,
right?
yeah, they're terrific students here.
You got one?
Absolutely, I do have one here. Full transparency, I am paying tuition to Clemson, yes.
39-30.
It's great. My son's in the Clemson Life program, Frankie. He's here with some of his roommates and classmates.
How about Reed with the giant killer? Up and over Banks, 21 for Marquise Reed, 41-30. Similar start to the beginning of the game.
Scar really moving his feet, really staying in a stance.
Banks into the lap of Scar.
Back-to-back air balls. The students are serenading it again, Bob.
Second chance. That one's blocked and a foul. Elijah Thomas headed to the line for the Tigers. Now the clubs are being sent to their benches. See what happened inside after the whistle.
Oh, did Banks come across the brow of Thomas, and then Thomas retaliate with a push?
The personal on Banks is going to be his third. And Mike Eads and company will take a look.
It's a good pump fake to get to the free throw line. You see Thomas just pushing him out of the way after Banks committed a hard foul.
We wait for the official review to conclude. A dead ball contact technical, I believe, is what the final call is going to be here on Elijah Thomas. Now Thomas will go to the line to shoot his free throws on the foul. And then Georgia Tech will shoot at the other end.
So you shoot them in order. Thomas first, and then whoever Georgia Tech wants to shoot, and they get the ball. Did you just say that?
I did.
I was listening to Mike.
Aren't you proud of me?
Saying that. Yes, excellent.
17:09 to go.
There was a foul on number 1.
So Thomas with the also gets charged with a personal, of course. First, he gets to shoot these two free throws, where he's a 65% shooter this year.
Which will be his third foul.
4 and 4 so far. He's got 4 double-doubles in conference play and is 9th in the league in shots blocked.
So that dead ball contact technical on Thomas counts as a personal foul.
And he splits the pair. 12-point ball game, and now Georgia Tech will send Alvarado to the line to shoot the technical. Alvarado has not been to the line tonight. 76% foul shooter, averaging 13-9 for the Jackets. He was 6 of 7 at the line in Syracuse on Saturday.
He didn't score for Georgia Tech until the 8:44 mark in the first half. Well, they could really use him to get going.
Well, Alvarado, like Thomas, going 1 for 2, and now the Jackets have the basketball. 42-31 Clemson. Brian Kersey at the league office is going to be so proud of us for knowing the rule book.
That's nice to know, right? We're supposed to know it.
Banks doubled in the post. Phillips off the bounce.
They have not been bringing the double to Banks. Banks makes a terrific read out of it. He does have 21 assists on the season, but when he catches it on the block, he's down there to score, not to pass.
Stepping into it, Sims out to the Jackets with 16:24.
Sims was 0 for 5 from the three-point line in that Virginia game.
Banks moves in and scores. Now they wave off the shot. As the foul on White, his second.
We're going to call a foul on the floor here. He is not getting into the motion of his shot. That's on the floor. That means an inbound. I thought that would be 2 free throws.
You're like me, Debbie. We think offense.
We do think offense. We like to be entertained by the hard work of the players that they put in the gym and their ability to score. Great offense always beats great defense.
Scott,
or good defense.
Picks up his first. And it will be out of bounds on the end line. 42-33 Clemson. 4 minutes have elapsed in the second half, and a very pensive first 4 minutes of this second half.
Really playing through the pinch right there.
And Reed with a pickoff, and then the reach-in foul on DeVoe.
I like the way Georgia Tech out of the locker room is starting to play through the pinch. They're running their offense through the elbows, putting some pressure on Clemson's defense.
Timeout at Littlejohn.
Official timeout.
The ACC, Geico, New York Life, Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits, Food Lion, and Toyota.
Welcome back to Clemson, 42-33. The Tigers on top by 9. Sort of a slow pace, Debbie, to this second half so far. You can tell there's a lot on the line for these two ball clubs. Georgia Tech has come out in the second half, 1 of 5 shooting overall, 0 of 1 from 3.
It's turning into a defensive matchup is what we thought it might be.
Interesting, Georgia Tech is 4 of 8 on threes in the game, but just 6 of 20 on twos. Now Clemson with it out of the timeout. Reed connects. He's got 24.
How can you give Marquise Reed that kind of look?
45-33. DeVoe swings it to Phillips. The Jackets 2-1 in conference play, coming off the big win at Syracuse. Alvarado works it back out. They keep more size on him and they throw it away. Try to hit him on the cut to the basket. Reed puts it up and in.
Hang and finish. Marquise Reed, what a night.
47-33. Reed with 26.
I think when Banks works that hard for position and he's that deep, you need to throw it in there.
Banks gives to Haywood. Moves in. And a foul on the Tigers. This will be on White, his third.
Foul is called on Javen White at 2-4.
Javen White's third foul.
Into the Yellow Jackets, number 5, Moses.
It is going to be out of bounds underneath.
In for the Tigers, number 55.
For the Tigers, Trey Jemison comes in.
Excuse me, Bob. Javen White has played terrific. He's given him good minutes. He's defended. He's worked well in their switching action.
Now the whistle on Jemison.
I mean, he hasn't even recorded any time yet. He's got a foul.
It's hard to do.
Ball never came in bounds.
14:35 to play. Alvarado
Look at Banks is really working inside. You got to throw it in there if you want to pick up some more fouls or get him to go to the line.
How much of Alvarado's vision's being obscured by the taller Scarra?
That's exactly what it's been all game. It's a terrific coaching move to start the game that way by Brad Brownell.
6 points for DeVoe, 47-35. Shelton Mitchell works it up for the Tigers.
Mitchell's had a quiet game tonight. He's just 1 for 3 from the floor.
Had a quiet game against Virginia. 1 of 6 from the field. 47-35. Trap with 8. 7 on the shot clock. Mitchell's got a chance here to make something happen. Picks up his dribble. Finds Scarra. 1 second. Too late. Shot clock violation against the Tigers.
And Clemson played on top of that zone the whole time with their offense.
And you can see Brad Brownell directing those comments to Mitchell. Hey, let's go. Take your shot. 47-35.
Well, I know how much Brad Brownell prepared. I was here at practice yesterday. I was here at 7:30 this morning to shoot around. They were working against that zone, trying to get the ball inside. I'm trying to overload one side of the zone.
You were here at 7:30 in the morning.
I was.
You know, Bojangles isn't open.
It is.
I can't make shoot around. I'm sorry.
It was open.
Here's a long air ball. Rebounded by the Tigers. Mitchell, little shake and bake. Tees up Scarra. Left alone for 3.
David Scarra is going to show up in the box score tomorrow for offense, but it's been his defense that's been impressive, or more impressive than his three-point shooting ability.
Tigers by 15, 12:50 to play. Alvarado. Here's Banks at the high post. Finds the cutter, bobbled, recovered, and trying to get that shot away is White, and he scores. The foul on Trapp inside his second.
Trapp
Great save.
Trapp gets a deflection, and then Wright just stays with it. Look at the footwork inside.
Into the Yellow Jackets, number 35, Christian Schulman.
Chance for a three-point play for the Raleigh, North Carolina sophomore. He had started the previous 13 games and then didn't get into the game at Syracuse over the weekend. (50-37). Scarra holding, giving. Now Mitchell.
It starts as a 1-3-1, and then they do such a good job of the tandem up top of matching up and communicating.
Mitchell, Scarra, end of the clock. 3 is an air ball.
Really good defense. Moving on the flight of the ball, there on the catch with high hands, communicating.
And officially goes as a turnover. The 7th for Clemson. They had only 7 against Virginia here over the weekend. Trapp coming in for Mitchell. 12:09 to go. Tigers by 13.
Well, this is a slower pace, so there's not a lot of decisions to be made in transition. But coming into the game, Reed and Mitchell for Clemson combined for 94 assists and 85 turnovers. That's not good enough.
Banks. And a block on the drive by Sholin. Brings us to a timeout. 11:37 to play. Second half, Tigers by 13.
We have official timeout.
By CPI Security. And this is example A right here.
Now, what a terrific job of protecting inside out, right? Clemson has been terrific. We talked about their good defensive basketball habits, and they've shown that here tonight, holding Georgia Tech to just 37 points. And Scarra has had a lot to do with containing Jose Alvarado, the leading scorer for Georgia Tech.
Clemson with 15 seconds on the shot clock. And look out. Lots of contact as Wright slams into Skara. Look out.
They can knock the wind out of him.
Fourth team foul.
11:25 to play in the game.
Trying to get numbers, overloading the zone.
Reed jumps in. Shot clock at 5. Air ball.
Not a
Again.
good possession. Not a good possession for Clemson.
Brad Brownell left to shake his head just a bit. Shelton Mitchell coming back in. But the Tigers, they're still playing the house money. They got a 13-point lead.
It's a good chance for Brad Brownell to talk to Clyde Trapp about spacing on the offensive end.
Alvarado barrels in, cut off. Gets it back. Thought about the 3. Now we'll drive it. Wright going up. Score the basket and a foul on Clemson.
What a play by Moses Wright.
Basket goes for Moses Wright.
Even better play by Alvarado to find him. Look at the patience and the poise here. Gets into the paint and then finds the open Wright who can get to the rim with that length.
Number 14, Elijah Thomas back in.
Elijah Thomas returns for Clemson. A free throw here from Moses Wright. He's not done a good job at the line this year. 11 of 25, and that includes that 0 for 1 a moment ago. This one lips out.
This would be the big lineup for Clemson on the floor.
50-39 Tigers.
I would expect them to go inside.
And they do. Big fella trying to get it off. Left hand back off the window with one hand.
Absolutely gorgeous.
52-39 Tigers. Thomas with 7. Wright. Up fake. Turn, scores.
Nice. One-on-one. They're picking up a little bit. It's picking up. Certainly Josh Pastner's getting excited.
52-41. 10 minutes to go, second half.
With this lineup on the floor, I'd be careful about extending that matchup. I'd try to protect inside out.
Sims buries the 3.
And Sims is one of the better three-point shooters for Clemson.
55-41 Tigers. Alvarado works off the Banks screen.
See, Banks was open on that roll, but Alvarado couldn't see him because of Skara and that size and that length, and that takes away his vision to the hoop.
Back to a 12-point game with 9:20 to play. Ballman from the corner by Mitchell. Rebound to Thomas. Loops it back out to Skara. Clemson resets. And they get a fresh clock to work with. We're down to 9 minutes to go in the game. Skara turns. Didn't have anybody on him. Was surprised. Thomas rejected. And the fight is on. The ball belongs to the Jackets and a whistle. A double dribble underneath the basket.
Watch the work inside by Elijah Thomas. Little fake, keeps his balance, plays the game low to high. That's why he's able to finish that play. And then a great take inside by Khalid Moore.
12-point game. Reed dishes inside. Thomas off the rim.
Now that's like one of those shots they missed against Virginia inside, Bob.
Alvarado after the show by Thomas. Now it's Wright. Alvarado throws it up. It's fouled. Free throws coming.
See, Alvarado is too good not to have some impact on this game before it's over on the offensive end. I mean, he continues to probe and look in the gaps.
ACC All Access is your ticket to everything happening inside the ACC this week. Can you name the best ACC dunkers? First Jeff Fischel reveals his list of top ACC rim rockers. Check your local listings on your regional sports network. Alvarado with 10, looking for 11. And the rebound controlled by Sims.
Is anyone else in the league going to get any votes besides Zion Williamson for the best dunker in the league?
8:13 to play. Clemson using a lot of that clock.
Look how good the spacing is.
And Sims from the corner. His second three. 15-44.
Sorry, Bob. Just the spacing, you can just see Clemson. All the work they put in this week preparing.
Banks denied once. Second time is good. Timeout, Georgia Tech. James Banks with his first basket since early in the first half. 7:47. The time remaining. Amir Sims buries a three and a little air guitar going the other way. A 12-point lead for Clemson, 58-46.
Introducing Pegasus, a next-generation all-in-one work table and clamping system.
Bob Raff and Debbie Antonelli and our ACC crew from Clemson, South Carolina. Both teams shooting well in the second half. Clemson 53%, Georgia Tech at 54%. But Clemson maintains this double-digit advantage. Here's Thomas. Spins middle. Goes back in. Tough shot against Banks.
Really good D.
Alvarado. Lost the dribble. Picked up by Reed. Going in on Banks. Deflected and DeVoe picks it up.
Reed looking for a foul. This is where Georgia Tech made a run at the end of the half, Bob. They got a couple of stops. They got into some transition game. Alvarado can't believe he lost the handle on the last one.
Alvarado with 8. 7 on the shot clock. Wings 3, rebounded by Reed. Possessions dwindling to a precious few as we come down the stretch here. 6:40 to play, and the Tigers in no hurry. Foul out front on Alvarado. Timeout on the floor. 6:38 to play. Tigers by 12. Coming down to Cases and Littlejohn. There's a #1 Tiger fan.
Hey, that's my son Frankie right there. We're showing off a few of his dance moves with his buddies, new roommate Noah and Sam. A couple of guys in the Clemson Life program having a fun time at the game. And Marquise Reed has been terrific. He has hit the mid-range. He's been good outside the arc. He's played in their ball screening action. He's been able to get a steal and a finish on the other end. What a big game after 19 first half points.
He's got 26 total. And it showed all facets of his offensive game tonight. 58-46. And out of bounds to Georgia Tech. Brad Brownell's ball club was up big early. Then Georgia Tech started to whittle things down. They cut it to 5 at halftime. But Clemson came out strong to start the second half. And really, Georgia Tech's been unable to get over that psychological barrier of getting it into single digits. Banks. Travel.
Back-to-back turnovers off the timeout. 12 turnovers for Georgia Tech, 8 for Clemson. matching up in their man.
Here's Thomas. On the handoff to Mitchell. Fires. Misses. Rebound right. Wing to Haywood. DeVoe moves in. Moves out. Wright can't get the shot away. Down to 10 on the clock.
Scar building a wall inside.
And an air ball from DeVoe. Sims driving. Spinorama.
Wow. What a nice move.
10 points for Sims, all in the second half. 60-46. And as well, Debbie, as Clemson is playing defensively here, Georgia Tech doesn't have a lot of time left to go from good to great. You get a good look, take it.
Well, that assisted basket thing's not working out for them tonight at all. They only have 4 assists. They're not moving the ball. And part of that's Clemson's defense.
Foul on the drive, and this will put the lead more at the line.
Amir Sims, 6'7" sophomore, has hit a couple of triples right here and does a great job of attacking Banks. Instead of going all the way to the rim, knowing that he's a terrific shot blocker, he makes a nice move. Spin back for a mid-range.
A rare miss from Moore at the line. Came in 26 of 30 at the stripe. Alvarado's back. And Moses White goes out. 4:41 to play. The Clemson lead is 14. Second free throw. Point advantage. Georgia Tech been to the line 17 times. They've made 11. Clemson 5 of 6 at the stripe. Mitchell, nice pass inside, but Tech knocks it away. .17 on the shot clock. Long entry to Marquise Reed. 8-7 to shoot. Sims has been hot. Now they go underneath. Thomas got behind the D and laid it in.
Great find by Mitchell. Really good ball movement. Excellent spacing. It's what you'd expect out of a veteran team.
62-47. DeVoe, nice split of the double. Lays it in.
Michael DeVoe.
62-49.
Then you get 3 or 4 stops in a row and scores.
Reed, ball knocked out of his hands on a foul. And this foul is on Moore. His first tonight. Brings us to a timeout at 3:37 in the second half.
We have official timeout.
Clemson 62, Georgia Tech 49 with just 3:37 to play. Want to watch those big guys work inside. It brings us to tonight's Toyota Let's Go places.
Yeah, Bob, check out Elijah Thomas. We're both fans of his play and his work off the ball. Starts at the top of the right elbow, and then he works his way down to the block. Every time he comes close to a Georgia Tech player, he creates contact so that he can create an angle for his perimeter players to find him on the inside. He's 4 for 10 in the game. He's got 9 points, 8 boards, 4 offensive rebounds. And terrific at the rim tonight. And he sits in a post too. That's what I like. He sits. He gets his hips over his heels.
Pass off the dribble, finds Sims on the wing. Scara. Oh, that ball went out of bounds. Georgia Tech will have it. We're down to 3:20 to play. Scar's got 3 threes tonight, and that's a good sign. But what he has done away from the basketball has been so impressive.
You know what I was just going to say? Marquise Reeves got to be the headline for the leading scorer, right? But they can't win the game without the job that David Scar does on Alvarado all game.
Haywood pumps it inside. Banks gets a jam. And we've got a player shaken up for Georgia Tech, and that's Moore. Not quite sure what happened. Being helped up.
He and Scar get tangled up. The Scar is not looking like he's looks like he's walking a little bit gingerly as well.
Right side of your screen. Oh, the banging of the knee.
Oh, yes. .309 left. See, this is the full court pressure. I know Josh Passer is not a big fan of doing that with his team when they're really good in the quarter court, but it results in a steal.
Haywood kicks. DeVoe goes inside. Now to the cutting Banks. He jams another one. Timeout for Clemson. Back-to-back jams for James Banks. And it's Georgia Tech within 9.
You turn it over and you allow Georgia Tech to make a big emotional play at the rim. That's exactly what this is by James Banks.
With authority. The Texas transfer cuts it into single digits. Saturday on your ACC Regional Sports Network, we have doubleheader action beginning at 2 Eastern when the vastly improved Pitt Panthers go to Syracuse to take on the Orange. And Virginia Tech looking to bounce back at home as they take on Wake Forest. That's at 4 Eastern. All Saturday on your ACC Regional Sports Network. Every night, every day, a war in the ACC.
Unbelievable. It's so much fun for the fans, right? I mean, I can't wait to see how Wake Forest responds off their big win and Virginia Tech responds off their big loss to Virginia. It's only 2 losses, though, for Buzz Williams' team. You know, I had their first loss was at Penn State on the road.
That's a solid ball club.
Yes, it is. They play every single second of the game hard.
Now here's what's ahead for Brad Brownell. Back-to-back roadies in Tallahassee and Raleigh, then a 3-game homestand. That Georgia Tech game actually is in Atlanta, Pitt and Wake on January 29th and February the 3rd here. Brad Brownell faced with a conference schedule. His first 2 games were on the road in conference play. Now we're down to 2:55 and Alvarado got hit in the hip, and he's starting to limp off as he goes back to the bench.
I'd get him fixed so he can come back for an offensive possession, right? See how quickly you can get him back in the game if he can come back.
Reed avoids the trap, now gets it back to Scar.
You got to stay off the sideline.
And the foul stops the clock with 2:37.
See, that is a veteran play. Your defender off balance, trailing the play. Reed puts him in a position where he can draw the foul.
Clyde Trapp back in for the Tigers.
A 1-and-1 for Marquise Reed. Sims out, Trapp in. Tigers have only gone to the line 6 times tonight and made 5.
You know, if I'm Brad Brownell, like that teaching point right there, I got to call timeout to get my team ready to go against the press. You know the press is coming. They worked on it this morning.
28 for Reed. Ties his career high, 64-53. Right driving. And a foul on Clemson.
I thought that was going to be a traveling call.
The whistle goes against Clyde Trapp.
Clyde Trapp, that's his 3rd 10th team foul.
I think Trapp is moving his feet, beats him to the spot. That's a travel.
Moses White 0 for 2 at the line. Point number 7. Out of Menlo High School in Raleigh. 9 points, 4 boards. Second shot, no! One-hand rebound for Thomas. 10-point ball game with 2:15.
And see, this is where Clemson, with their backcourt play, Mitchell and Reed both are closers. They can make free throws. They will make good decisions late. Or you anticipate they will, because they've been in a big moments in this league in the past.
They work the clock down to 6. Mitchell zips the pass for a dunk for Thomas.
That's what I'm talking about. Take the shot clock down to 4 and get it inside to Thomas.
Banks. Well, they go to the big man a little late here, and he's delivered. A 10-point ball game at 66-56. James Banks coming to life here late in the second half.
Awesome play right here by Mitchell. What a dish. What a finish. Brad Brownell's got to be pleased with the way his team has finished around the rim tonight versus what happened to them with Virginia. He kept telling us 5 for 14 inside the restricted area. 5 for 14, Bob.
Not good.
You don't usually get that many shots at the rim against Virginia.
And a lot of that activity was from the guards penetrating. It wasn't all the bigs. But they turned that around tonight. And Banks, is sitting back there for Georgia Tech. It's not like they don't have any rim protection. They've got a dandy in James. But credit to Clemson. Played a nice game.
Well, and Josh Pastner had to manage down 2 personnel, right? I mean, without Gay available to play, without Austin available tonight.
Lob to Mitchell up the wing. Floor is spread for Clemson, and a near steal. That's a foul on Evan Cole.
Well, you get him in the trap. You can't pick up the basketball right there. You have him right where you want him.
And we were just bragging on this back.
Yes, I was just talking about decision making. That was not a good decision.
Banks comes back.
Back in for the Yellow Jackets. Number 1, James Banks III.
Bonda goes out. Haywood's going to return.
Also courtesy of the second half.
Cole comes out. A minute 34 to play.
Sorry, Bob. Offense, defense for Josh Pastner.
Reed trying to set a new career high, and does. Point number 29. Over 1,100 points in his career. And he has been dialed in from the tip. 68-56. Banks fouled on the dunk attempt. Clyde Trapp's 4th. This will send James to the line, where tonight he's 2 out of 2.
James Banks III, shooting 2.
15th in the nation in blocks. He's got 4 tonight. And adds 13 points. Cole in. And Sholin out. Banks is in those blocks. This is the 10th game this year. He's had 3 or more in a game. 68-58. 127. Full court pressure by the Jackets.
Trapp can run the baseline.
And it's a loose ball in the corner. It's out of bounds. And Mike Eads says it belongs to Clemson.
Now you got to be on a spot. You can't move.
And that flick with the fingers by DeVoe, giving the ball back to Clemson.
But you can go and look at it.
Eads is, I believe, going to roll it back and take a quick peek. Time to take a look at our Advance Auto Parts player of the game. And a 30-point night for Marquise Reed. Really set the tone. Hit a couple of shots early in the half. In the first half, Debbie, he was looking to get going. Got the shots early, built the confidence, and then just took off from there.
I mean, look at Clemson, right, Bob? I mean, they're 0-3 coming into this game. They got to have a win. Marquise Reed understands that. He wants to play in the postseason, right? So you've got to control your own destiny right now at home. But Brad Brownell, in the last 3 years, his team is 31-6 in the non-conference. You know, they've done a fantastic job of, through their non-conference schedule, preparing themselves for the rigors of the ACC. So it's about good habits and concepts. And I think Brad Brownell's one of the better teachers in the league.
No question. This is what the officials are looking at.
Now watch the knee of Sheldon Mitchell. Does the ball go off his knee? Right there.
Well, touching the ball out of bounds was DeVoe. I mean, he's got a hand down out of bounds. And watch right there. The touch. That's what Mike Eads is telling us. He was out of bounds when he touched it, and that makes it Clemson ball. If they would just listen to us,
you had it right, man. Bob, it doesn't take you a replay. You don't need another look.
Save a lot of time. 68-58.
This is a tough place to inbound the basketball.
Oh, that Coffin corner. And you're right, it's a spot throw-in. Because of the video review, no Clemson timeout. 1:25 left. And the pass is in and stolen. Georgia Tech's got to be thinking, oh, the big slam by Banks. Makes it 68-60. Clock ticking down to 1:12. Entry pass to Mitchell. High steps into mid-floor. Skara controls the dribble.
Step through this trap. Nice. That's a veteran play by Skara.
Reed escapes with the dribble. Skara turns, goes in. Lay in good.
David Skara. Did we give the player of the game too early?
Clyde Trapp makes it 70-60. 48 seconds and a turnover. Trapp hustles it across and is fouled from behind by Moses Wright.
Foul shot 5, Moses Wright. That's his
42.8. And the veteran David Skara. As big a part of this Clemson win as anybody tonight.
You know, Brad Brownell often refers to him as his most versatile defender, and he certainly was that tonight.
The man from Croatia.
Point guards in the ACC, beware. You might have David Skara at 6'8" guard you.
Trapp with the lane vacated of Tigers as his third point. 71-60 with 48.2 to play. Second shot is good.
That was Josh Pastner talking to us about Sims hitting those triples. He's right. Remember before the game he was concerned about Clemson not being that good of a three-point shooting team in the last few games and knowing at home that they needed to shoot the ball well.
Loose ball. Tigers have it. 3 on the way. That's short. 25 seconds. Shot clock's off. And Clemson is just going to dribble out the clock here, and they've got that first ACC win. Marquise Reed with 30. Skara, the unsung hero tonight. Tigers just trying to hang on to it here. Cole pressuring, and they're trying to do it without fouling. 4 seconds, 3.
That's the cylinder
and now
rule.
Cole is going to stop the clock with the personal foul.
That's the cylinder rule, and there was no need with 3.3 on the clock, and Josh Pastner was actually asking his team not to foul.
Clyde Trapp going to the free throw line. Tigers get the weekend off. They play next on Tuesday at Florida State. And we talked about the Jackets' next home game. That will be the Louisville Cardinals coming in to McCamish Pavilion on Saturday afternoon. 3.3 remaining. Miss both. Cole will come down. A half-court heave ends the ball game in Clemson's favor. Brad Brownell comes to shake the hand of Josh Pastner, and the Clemson Tigers go to 11-6 overall, and they get their first ACC win in 4 starts. The Jackets fall to 10-7, 2-2 in the ACC. Clemson 72, Georgia Tech 60. Big win for the Tigers as they get set to head to Tallahassee. Wonderful game by Marquise Reed, a career-high 30 tonight, pacing the Tigers in the scoring column. Don't forget doubleheader action on Saturday. Pitt, Syracuse at 2. Wake going to Blacksburg at 4. That's next on your regional sports network on Saturday. For Debbie Antonelli and our crew, Bob Rathman, thanking you for joining us. We say so long from Clemson.